Hey, what's up guys, my name is Cameron Gallagher, and today I'm going to show you how you can make an early morning look with just a few lights and a little bit of modification. So let's get into it. So one of my favorite things to do when it comes to practicing lighting is actually putting myself in filming situations. So what I mean by that is thinking of some type of setup or some type of concept and then figuring out how to light and shoot for that situation. So one thing I've been thinking about was an early morning or sunset type of lighting. Something where the lighting is coming through the window, it's warm, it's directional, it's coming through most likely some type of window look. It's not the easiest thing to conceptualize because a lot of these things you're trying to think of what you see every day in real life and how you can light that and make it look as real as possible. One thing that I like to do is think of your key source, and I don't mean a key light, but think of the key source of light that you're trying to get across. So of course in an early morning or a sunset, the idea is that the sun is low, it's very warm, and it's very directional. So remember, the sun is a hard source, so I like to start from there. So what I did was I used my Aputure 300D and I actually put a half CTO on it. Now by putting half CTO, I am cutting down substantially on the light's output, but again, we're giving it that warm directional look. I also used the Aputure Fresnel on the 300D, and this gave an even more intense and directional light. So I actually put this on my C-stand at as low as it can go, and I aimed it directly at my background. Now one nice thing about this backdrop is the kitchen cabinets back there are brown, so they're gonna pick up those warmer tones a lot better. Okay, so that's great, we have our sun, but the reality is we want it to be directional and we want it to look realistic. So one thing is when the sun is coming through the window, it is going to be hitting most likely blinds or some type of window, obviously, in the way that's gonna create a shadow. Now because it's cloudy and it's not sunny out right now, of course we can't actually do that, which is why we're of course doing this whole lighting tutorial. So I actually had gotten some of these, I believe they're from Chimera. They're basically a window pattern outline. It's pretty much a cookie or Cucaloris. And what you can do with these, you can put them in front of your light, which helps create some type of shadow and interest in your background. Now you can sort of see this in the background right now, but finding the perfect angle isn't the easiest thing. I put mine on a little bit of an angle so I get a little bit more of a skew so the blinds look like they're getting larger. Again, generally the sun is low and it's going to be somewhat directional, so it's not going to hit perfectly through your blind. So again, just adjust that to taste. But anyway, all we have is a hard light source with CTO, and it's pointing at the background. Now before we go any further, we're gonna wanna set up our camera. So of course you can set up your camera however you want, but one of the most important things is gonna be exposure and white balance. But now the most important thing is gonna be your white balance. I actually set my white balance to 5600, which with that half CTO in the back, makes the sun look very warm. Now it's not too warm where it's not a tungsten light where it would be very orange and very yellow, but because it's a half CTO and we're at 5600 on the camera, it looks very warm, just as the sun normally would. So now the next thing in this situation was actually blocking light off of my face from right here. One of the things is, of course, it is during the day and there is light coming in from these windows. Now in a perfect situation, you might want to block that light completely, but I didn't have enough black fabric to cover up everything. So what I actually did was I actually threw one of my impact floppies on a C-stand. Now if you don't know what a floppy is, it's basically a negative fill or a cutter. This is basically just a black fabric that's in a 2x3 frame. Now of course, one of the things is I'm also wearing glasses, so by blocking that light, not only am I fixing any contamination or spill from the actual daylight coming in, but I'm also getting rid of that reflection off my glasses. In the first shot I actually tested, there was a reflection on my glasses and it was really annoying, so using that floppy was really handy. So the next thing is the key light. So I actually used the Genere bicolor flex light. I just got this thing a few days ago and I'm gonna be doing a full review on it, but this thing was really nice because it's light, it's easy to put in tight places. So just a few feet over here is the wall, so I had to actually boom it on my C-stand and sort of stick it as far out as I could. Now being a light and bicolor light, this makes it extremely helpful because I can boom it very far, but I can also change the color temperature, which in this situation is going to be key. Now of course you could gel, but again you're gonna lose output. So I actually had this thing dimmed around 20%, and I actually set it at 3800 Kelvin. So with my camera being set at 5600, the 3800 Kelvin looks warmer but not too warm on my face, making sure that it still looks like there's warm sunlight hitting my face, but it's also not too warm where our background's gonna be. Now of course in real life it would most likely be some type of hard light hitting my face. I wanted to do more of a commercial look, so this would be if you were shooting a commercial and you had to have someone looking out the window and it's early morning and they're smiling, that type of thing. So in that case I want to have nice pleasant soft lighting. Now thankfully the Genere bicolor flex light actually comes with a nice diffusion that you can slap on the top. It's Velcro, so it's really easy. I just snapped it on there and boom, I have a nice soft source. Now most of the scene was a little bit too bright for my camera normally because I wanted to be set at the aperture of f2.2. So what I did was I actually threw a small ND filter in front of the lens, and this helped just bring down the exposure in general. And the key thing here is just learning that you have options with lighting. By modifying the lights and the existing lights around you, you can really do a lot with just a simple lighting kit. Now I know a lot of you guys are gonna say, well, wait a minute, those are two very expensive lights, but the key concepts here are pretty similar. You could easily use a can light on the background. Of course, it's not gonna be as bright, but a can light and a really inexpensive gel in the background could work just perfectly fine. And there's tons of cheap soft lighting solutions like Quasar Science tubes. Again, you don't have to have professional and expensive lights to do this, but it's just the concept of modifying your lights that makes the huge difference in a scene. So again, the key things to remember when an early morning sunrise is a directional hard source that's warm, cutting any extra light that's gonna create any reflections or any unwanted light, making sure your white balance is set to 5600 and making sure all of your sources are warmer than that, and then a nice soft light source on your face. Anyway guys, thanks for watching. If you did like this video, be sure to like and comment down below. Let me know what other lighting setups you guys wanna see. Maybe it's nighttime or it's a commercial shoot or an interview. Let me know, I'd love to do some more of these. Anyway guys, thanks for watching and I'll catch you guys later.